contest for Ben. As we bring back the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. And Ferdy, judging from his last fight, Ben seems well past the tragedy of the McClellan affair.
Yeah, well, most boxers need one fight to get their head straight. Do they want to stay in this business or because they get out? He got his fight. He is staying in, and he's just as sharp as ever. Ben is going to be sharp and instruct him better.
What about the fact that he's fighting a late replacement? How will that affect Nigel Benn?
He should be back in his dressing room a lot earlier than he had planned, because the guy with 5 days training has really got no business in the ring with a guy as fierce as Nigel Benn.
All right, we are set for the fighter ring walk. The decibel level here is unbelievable, and we suggest you stick around for this because Ben's entrances are usually quite entertaining. The challenger, Danny Perez, has just made his way into the ring. Born at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, where his father Joe was serving in the Marines. He now hails from Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is his first world title shot. He is ranked number 10 in the world, and he gets this title shot in rather whirlwind fashion. A bit of a mystery man to everybody here in London since he took this fight on such short notice and is not a named fighter, getting in some last-minute prayers, and he may need them against Nigel Benn. The crescendo builds as our man in the ring, Jimmy Lennon Jr., gets set to bring on the champion, the Dark Destroyer, the people's choice, the people's champion, Nigel Benn. Benn making his 9th defense of the WBC Super Middleweight Championship against late replacement Danny Perez, who doesn't seem to be in awe of this moment, and if anything, he invites the challenge. He is very game, very confident, as we spoke to him yesterday. Let's go up to our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the defending world champion, introducing the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn.
Theatrical entrances, but once the bell sounds, he is all business. A fighter whose achievements demand great respect. Born in Ilford, East London, he now lives in Bridgetown, Barbados. He's 41-2-1 with 34 knockouts, 10-1-1 in championship bouts. A former Royal Fusilier in the British Army, served 18 months in Northern Ireland, says if he can survive that, he can survive anything. The ring holds no fear for this man, and that is quite evident when he's on display. Ferdy, have you ever seen this kind of a dramatic ring walk entrance, these theatrics?
Obviously, since I was with Ali for a lot, yes. But this is right next to Ali in theatricality. As far as entrances are concerned, you can hardly beat Manila or Malaysia or Africa or New York City or Atlanta with Ali. But this is the next thing to it. He's very dramatic, very impressive, choreographed almost.
And Danny Perez is doing all he can do just to look away from it and not be intimidated by it.
Yeah, this is like a guy that's invited to a party, but nobody wants to dance with him. He's just standing over there by himself. This entire place is roaring for Nigel Benn.
This is an individualist inside and outside the ring. He's had a running feud with authority, managers, promoters. They've had their problems with him. But one thing is certain, when that bell rings, he goes to work. And the fans here in England love him and his explosive finishes. He's even kissing people in the crowd.
Well, if he spots Michael Watson, he'll certainly stop there. Michael Watson, a great British fighter who got disabled, and he's at ringside. Here's Perez in the dark. I mean, not even a tiny light illuminating.
And he finally makes it into the ring. And right now, let's size them up as we take a look at the tail of the tape. Benn is 31. Perez turned 25 last Sunday when he got the call for this fight, and he flew out Wednesday. The height nearly even. Benn tipped the scales at 166.25, his lightest in about 5 years. Perez 167. The contract weight 168. Slight reach advantage for Benn. And the WBC rules for this championship fight: 10-point mud system, 3 scoring judges, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop it. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the last round. If there's an accidental foul before the start of the 4th round, the fight will be ruled a no decision. If it happens after the start of the 4th, they go to the scorecard. So here at a dark Wembley Stadium in London, big crowd eagerly awaiting the official introductions. Let's go back up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Before we start our action, at this time I'd like to ask you to please be upstanding for the national anthems. Well, fans, this bout coming your way is brought to you courtesy of Frank Warren's Sports Network and Don King Productions, as sponsored by The Sun. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council. The president is Jose Sulaiman, the supervisor Hossein Owichi, along with the British Boxing Board of Control, with our steward in charge for this bout, Lord Brooks of Tromorfa. Introducing to you the judges, scoring this bout from ringside, Marty Denkin, Bob Logis, and Sergio Silvi, and a referee in charge of this bout. He will be giving instructions after the introductions, Mickey Van. All right, fans, here we go with the WBC Super Middleweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing red trunks with black trim and fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico in the United States. He weighed in at 11 stone, 13 pounds, or 167 U.S. pounds. His record includes 18 wins, 3 losses, with 5 of his wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the number 10 super middleweight in the world. Introducing Danny Ray Pitbull Perez. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing black trunks, fighting out of and representing Ilford, East London. His weight, 11 stone, 12 1/4 pounds, or 166 1/4 U.S. pounds. His outstanding record includes 41 wins, only 2 losses, 1 draw, with 34 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO middleweight world champion. Tonight, he is making the 9th defense of his title, introducing the WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the World, the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn. And once again, here's the referee in charge, Mickey Van, now to give instructions.
Right, boys, you both had your instructions. You shake hands, go back to your corners, come out when you hear the bell. Good luck.
So here at Wembley Stadium in London, we're getting set for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship. Scheduled for 12. Nigel Benn versus Danny Perez. Perez against all odds. 18-3, just 5 knockouts. Taking this fight on very short notice, facing a hostile crowd and Nigel Benn, but he's pumped up. He jumped at the opportunity. Nigel Benn, always a crowd-pleasing style, combining skill and explosive power. Usually lives up to his nickname as the Dark Destroyer. Excellent finisher, Ferdy, as you know, and a champion with vast experience and amazing heart.
Excellent starter also. Remember, Nigel's not one of these kind of guys who waits around for the fight to start. When the bell rings, he starts fighting. Look at that. 2 good straight right shots. They were hammering. Uh-oh. Something on Danny's eye. Apparently they hit heads, but I don't see it cut right now.
Nigel Benn hoping to get 1 step closer to his dream date with Roy Jones Jr. He looks to land bombs early and often. His game is on the outside usually, winging big, vicious cannon shots. He just loads up, likes to throw from way out, usually a powerful straight right. As our colleague Bobby Ches once described, when he lands with the tail end of his shots, they usually hurt.
Well, Danny's got power. He tells us his work day is 10 hours working on a jackhammer and then 2 hours in the gym. He's got power in those arms, but right now it's the champion who's doing the leading and dancing.
The biggest name on his ring record, Danny Perez, is Thomas Tate. He lost a 10-round decision to Thomas. He's 18-3, 5 knockouts, all 3 losses by decision. He's never been down. He doesn't cut. And as mentioned, he was told about this fight when he turned 25 last Sunday and flew out from Albuquerque, New Mexico to London, England this past Wednesday. So that's just 4 days before the fight, and then you lose a day with the time change.
Can you imagine what it would be like 7 days ago? You didn't even know you were going to fight, and all of a sudden you're here in the middle of all this roaring crowd. That's really some kind of change.
Can you imagine he's trying to plan out his Saturday night with his family, and he gets this call. He says, "Can you come fight Nigel Benn next week?" He says, "Let me check my calendar."
Yeah.
Nigel Benn, always in condition, so dangerous, can never be counted out. The heart and the will of a champion, always coming forward, always pressing the attack. He's also quite elusive along the road. Pretty good right hand there, right hook by Danny Perez that shot Benn's head back.
Danny's trying to rough him up. He's trying to get him in close and out-strengthen him. Obviously, he's much, much bigger than Nigel Benn. His body's thick. and strong. At belies the strength because of his kind of work. I mean, he is a big fella.
We did talk with Perez yesterday at the weigh-in, and despite the bizarre circumstances, he did seem very, very at ease and very confident, very sure of himself. Final seconds of the opening round for the WBC super middleweight title here in England. Beautiful doubling up by Nigel Benn with the left as the bell sounds.
Everything down the club. Going out that club, current to the back down left of them. Beautiful. Pass me an iceberg up, please. Can you pass me an iceberg? No, iceberg. Iceberg on your neck. Let that fucking bomb go, okay? You hear me? Let that bomb go. I see. You gotta let that right hand go, okay? Let that right hand go. Okay, Daniel, put something behind that right hand. Move to your round.
Normally, microphones aren't allowed in corners here in Great Britain. The British Board of Boxing Control is very tough about that, but the Americans allowing us to eavesdrop. Jake Valencia and Jim Johnson, and also they're easing up a little bit. We got some microphones into the Nigel Benn corner as well.
It was nice to ask him if he wanted an ice bag. It's getting so cold here. I wouldn't have surprised to say, no, a hot water bottle would be better for tonight. And the fellow you saw, there's a little complaint to the referee now because they butted heads. The fellow you saw hanging over Danny's shoulder was his father, Marine Corps veteran who has trained his son and now turned him over.
That's Joe Perez. Danny was born in Camp Lejeune. We also want to point out that we were able to actually mic the people in the corner, which was very gracious on the cornermen's part. Jake Valencia and Jim Johnson in the Danny Perez corner. So thank you very much, fellas. Round two for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship. Steve Albert with the fight Dr. Ferdy Pacheco at a chilly Wembley Stadium in London, England.
So far, all we've seen is the champion doing the work he usually does, cutting his men down to size. And in Danny's corner, they told him, throw that right hand. You're throwing the left, but nothing with the right. So let's see whether he follows through.
Then beginning to open up a little more. Going to the body. Right hand, overhand right by Nigel Benn, followed by a right uppercut, but Perez is game. He comes right back, counter-punching.
Nice little 3, 4, 5 punch combination by Danny.
But now he is rocked. A shot right to the belly. And he cringed in pain. Danny Perez.
Oh, that was to the cup right there. That one to the cup very low. Oh, it's bad enough to make up all these hours in transatlantic flight without getting pummeled in that area.
Relentless shots by Nigel Benn. Uppercuts to the body of the head. Perez doing all he can to hang in there.
Perez claims he's never been down. Doesn't know what that experience is like. He's in danger of finding out tonight, though.
He is not a knockout puncher. Only 5 knockouts in 21 fights. He is a boxer. Tries to use the angles and cut off the ring. We're told he does have a solid chin. As you mentioned, never been knocked out. And all 3 defeats by decision. Trying to hang in there. It's a late replacement against one of the best in the business, Nigel Benn, in the black trunks. Then again, pounding away to the body.
Ripping shots. Those are ripping body shots. That's the kind that Julio Cesar Chavez puts in and caves in the side.
And then arm shots a la Marciano to wear him down.
Okay, Daniel, you're going to have to step the ropes, buddy.
Take his down.
No. Okay, Daniel, that was good round at the end. You hurt him. You already hurt him. Here. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Now let's see how the champion is now setting up Danny. These little flurries that you see, especially these punches to the body, just setting up for those later rounds when it comes to collect them. Nice uppercut, crisp uppercut. Although Danny fighting back. See, Danny has not done badly. It's just that he's losing. Let's take a look at the low blow, and that was low. Whoa. That hurt. Well, that was one warning there. So another one, and then point to
Ben scored with a big left hook to the ribs of that last round. Halfway through it, Perez looked hesitant to throw a punch that would leave him exposed in that area, and I don't blame him. Round 3.
I love his corner. His corner said, you hurt him that round. He said, yeah, you hurt his hands, hitting me on the side. Good, straight right hand. Right to the jaw. This kid does have a good jaw. That was a hard punch right to the jaw. Danny does have a strong jaw.
Ben says, I'm not taking Perez lightly. He's never been stopped. He didn't know much about him coming in because of the lateness of the change, obviously. He says, I'll just see what he has in the first few rounds. One thing's for sure, Ben will always come forward. He will always be on the attack, as he is doing here. Ben coming off the 8th round stoppage over Vincenzo Nardiello, knocking Nardiello down 5 times in rounds 7 and 8. Almost a low blow that was blocked by Nigel Benn's right fist. Right uppercut followed by a straight left by Ben. The punches by Perez stopped. Pretty good crisp right hook there, though, by Perez. Ben continues to come forward and stalk the challenger.
He's just waiting for his good shots. He doesn't want to waste any ammunition, and certainly most of his body shots have landed with great effect. There it is. And there it is on the other side. He balances it out, and then one right down the middle to just make it all hurt. His whole body should be hurt by now.
And as you know, he loves to set traps. Nigel Benn, the complete package. Many are surprised the fight has gone this far.
Well, this is a big, tough guy. I mean, he's ranked number 10. He's not a potato chip, you know. He just didn't come off the road from Albuquerque. But on the other hand, there is a difference in class here that's vast.
Not quite sure how a gentleman we've never heard of gets ranked number 10. Well, those are for greater minds.
Yes. Mathematicians or politicians. That's the IBF. Excuse me, that's the IBF rating. He is 15th, I think, in one of the other WBA, WBC ratings. But
I always thought you have to be at least number 10 in that division to fight for the championship, which is the WBC in this case.
Exactly.
In any event, round 3 drawing to a close.
You're going to have to use your jab a little bit more, okay? Okay, and look, Daniel, once he gets on the ropes, push him off or tie him up, okay? I don't want to see on them ropes. They're on the jab and not right and come down.
They walk into the right hand then.
No problem. See you do it. Come on. You got no problem. Let the class tell. Beautiful. What you do is you're letting him work. You let him do his own pace, okay? Just walk it there, get it. Have a little step up now and again. Put him on his back foot. No problem. 10 seconds. Thanks, son. Looking great.
Round 4. Again, we offer many thanks to the local folks here for allowing us to get inside the corners. Usually that is a no-no here in Great Britain. Round 4, the cornermen helping us by allowing us to mic them.
We sure could have used it in the Ben McClellan fight. Yes, because McClellan was already complaining of head injury in the 6th fight. He kept saying that he has a head pain in one side of the head, and we couldn't hear it because we didn't have the microphone. That was a shame.
Well, it's a dumb rule.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're not exercising it as much here.
I don't think there's any reason for it, and certainly there's a lot of reason for having it.
Perez is keeping his right elbow low to protect his ribs. Unfortunately for him, that might leave his head exposed, which Nigel Benn can certainly take advantage of.
And Nigel Benn in the corner, it's not like an executive. Oh, nice uppercut by Benn. He just, no matter what they told him, he said, no problem, I've got that. Okay, no problem. He's confident that he's fighting a perfect fight, and he is.
Ben has defended the title 8 times. The only semi-blemish is the draw, the split decision draw with his arch rival Chris Eubank, and talk of a 3rd fight between Ben and Eubank has certainly taken a back seat with the Ben Jones stuff heating up, and Eubank not the champion anymore. He was the WBO super middleweight champ, had that taken away by decision last March by Irish Steve Collins, and they will meet again a week from tonight, Eubank and Collins.
Ooh, nice uppercut again by Ben. Ben's landing that uppercut. That's certain.
Ben digging to the body.
Ben and Jones is a beautiful fight right now. Top dollar fight.
Oh, now he has stunned the challenger, Nigel Benn. Perez trying to hold on, but dear late. And now Ben looking to end it here, looking to finish off Perez, but Perez keeping his elbows in to protect his body, but that exposes his head.
But he's punching. I mean, he is not taking a one-way beating here. He's punching back with no effect, but he is punching back.
Right now, Ben fighting as if the last thing on his mind is Roy Jones Jr. He just wants to get through this, end it, and then move on to the next order of business.
He earned his name, Destroyer. That's what he is. He is a destroyer. He doesn't know how to fight anyway but that one way. Oh, nice right hand. Nice, tough right hand.
Beautiful shot here in London, England. This is Wembley Stadium. The capacity here is 65,000. Pretty good crowd on hand. Hope to pass along the attendance to you later. The weather is a bit on the chilly side. Rain is in the forecast, but so far so good here at this large stadium.
All right, here's where the champion first knocks on the door to get him in trouble, to get Danny in trouble. So he's already bending over a little bit too much. Look at that body shot on the side. Now one on the other side will come in. And you see the way Danny grabbed him in desperation. He was in trouble. And of course, we'll take a look at it from another different view. What you see is the incredible accuracy of Nigel Benn. Their shots rain from everything. Uppercuts, shots to the side, straight jabs. He is a punishing, pummeling fighter.
Round number 5. It is scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship. Nigel Benn in the black trunks. Danny Perez in the red with the black trim. Perez coming all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico as a late place. There's a right by Benn, a straight right, and down goes Perez.
And that landed right on the nose, and blood is coming out of the nose. That might have been it for the nose.
That happening about 15 seconds into round 5, and now Ben looking to go in for the finish, but back comes Perez for the combination, and that has momentarily stunned the champion. What a job here by the challenger, Danny Perez. You talk about heart.
You know he got him in trouble. Nigel Benn got in trouble just then. What a surprise.
Ben was rocked, but he comes back down with uppercut. The left hook by Nigel Benn.
What an attack by Danny Lewis. What a brave, gutty kid. Perez now trying to fight back again off the ropes.
And a lot of time left in this round. There's a left hook by Nigel Benn. Now followed by a right hook. And again, Ben getting in. But back comes Perez once again. What counter punching.
Something is bothering Perez. He keeps holding his head.
Yeah, he's touching the back of his head. He's done that a couple of times.
What a round of fighting this is turning out to be.
It has been a furious exchange. Perez going down about 15 seconds into the round on a lead right by Nigel Benn. He came back with a flurry, a gorgeous combination that dazed the champion.
And drove him all the way back across the ring. That was really something. One more good shot, it could have landed him on his duck.
A gutsy young man, Danny Perez.
Boy, imagine this on 5 days training and crossing the Atlantic.
It says no fear on the back of Nigel Benn's trunk. It should say the same thing on Perez's trunk.
Me also, she said. This is the corner where Danny Perez got in trouble in the first 15 seconds of the fight and came back fighting. What a round.
Perez doubling up nicely on the left. The left hook followed by a left uppercut, but not much impact on Benn. Less than 30 seconds remaining in round 5. The most entertaining round thus far. A courageous Danny Perez giving a brilliant accounting of himself here as a late replacement for Steve Little, the former WBA super middleweight champion.
All right, then. Come on. Hurting you bad? Huh? What's the matter? You hold the spit, look. You got it.
Here's the knockdown, just as we heard Danny say, my ribs. I don't know if I can keep up with this. There's the right hand, right on the chin. A good, clean punch by Nigel Benn. Second look from the other side. Keep your eye on the right hand. Wow, right on the money. You know, that poor kid. I don't know how he got up from that. But Perez, believe it or not, comes back from that, and now watch how he drives the champion across. A hook, right hand, another hook. Look at this. What great action, what great guts. Now, for him to just get up out of the corner when he was saying to his corner, Danny, my ribs, I don't know if I can keep this up. It's really a lot of guts on the part of this kid, Danny Perez. My hat's off to him.
I hate to bring up this analogy, but we notice heavy blinking in the corner of Danny Perez and also feeling the back of his head. Does that remind you of anything?
Yeah, it was exactly what McClellan was doing, only he didn't complain of his head. He complained of his ribs here, and that's because these punches have been devastating on the part of the champion.
So round number 6. In the 5th round, Perez went down from a thumping right 15 seconds in. Perez then stunned Nigel Benn just a few seconds later, but Benn's eyes were still clear. He seemed to win the rest of the round. Seemed like a very long round with all of that action. Then once again to the attack. Perez reaching out with a straight right, but doing no damage.
He has nothing on his punches now. They're not hard. It's as if it hurts him to throw the punches.
Straight left hand there by Nigel Benn that got in. A moral victory for Danny Perez just to get to this stage.
Oh, it definitely is. And to stun the champion, drive him back like that, wow.
Particularly after being knocked down.
Everything. Well, he'll go home with that to talk about in the show for many years to come.
They'll throw a parade in his honor in Albuquerque. Wild swing and a miss with an overhand right by Benn.
Oh, nice right hand. 2 right hands by Perez right on the jaw.
Clubbing right by Danny Perez, who continues to be gallant. About a minute remaining in the 6th.
Danny readjusted his trunk. He's got that much left in him. He's not fighting like a fighter that's looking to win the fight. He's fighting like a fighter that wants an honorable way out. I mean, he is being pummeled here. Ooh,
Right uppercut by Perez that landed flush on the chin of Benn.
boy, if he can only punch hard.
He only has 5 knockouts in 18 wins.
We have seen Nigel go down. Of course, he gets up fearful. He gets up.
We saw him get blasted through the ropes in the first round against McClellan, and he came back to win that.
One of the best fights in the last 10 years, however unfortunate it ended.
Right uppercut by Benn as we approach 10 seconds remaining in the 6th.
I'm down, Perez. Go. Sit buckets on the floor. Deep breath. Yeah, Mr. Bobby. Okay, Daniel, when you throw first off that jab, you land. We're going to have to take this fight to him.
You catch him with the right hand when
Really?
you go first.
You're going to have to take the fight a little bit more to this guy, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
One side.
Oh, boy.
If you're as good as you say you are, and you're fit now, you want to step it up a little bit, right? Right? Have a shield, please. Step it up and see what he's got left, right? Keep the chin down, keep moving the body, behind the jab. Behind the left leg.
Instructions from Kevin Sanders in Nigel Benn's corner as we enter round 7. Other than that one flurry in round 5, it really doesn't look like Perez's punches are having that much effect on Benn. Benn continues to dictate the tempo.
That was a very polite way to tell him to get off his stuff and get fighting. He said, if you're as good as you think you are, then go out there. That's a polite entrance in to get your butt up and finish this guy off.
That's putting it to you.
If you're as good as you think you are, would you please go out and show me?
They're just so dignified.
Yeah.
Perez looking to protect those ribs, which no doubt have been damaged. Looking the jab, but getting nowhere.
Yeah, that's a jab in there.
And Perez got rocked to the body.
It's a nice sweeping left hook to the head that also made him blink.
Look at the head movement by Benn. Bobbing and weaving, almost looking like vintage Tyson when he does that, crouching.
Yeah, that's what Tyson's got to get back. To keep doing that all during a fight, to not get lazy and stop doing it. Oh, a right hand just as he was coming in. Now that should have put him on the up fast.
Perez walked right into that and showing the good chin.
Boy, he did that. He walked in as the punch was coming in. That usually puts you right on your duck.
And now once again digging to the ribs, and that's got to hurt. Wild swing and a miss with a left hook. Fortunately for Perez, able to duck under. Perez comes out of there. He spins. Body shot by Nigel Benn. Those are wicked.
Those hurt. Those hurt. With injured, bruised ribs, he's even lifting his leg up. That's the indication when the ribs really hurt.
Benn in supreme command.
There he is.
And he is in trouble again, Perez. Perez going down. With 45 seconds left in the 7th. Down for the second time of the fight. Mickey Van counting. It's over. Nigel Benn defends his title for the 9th time. And a very hurt challenger, but game challenger, Danny Perez, who should be very proud that he lasted this long with this man. We'll go back to Albuquerque in very gallant fashion.
Perez in a lot of pain in his corner. They're working on him. Look at him. His face is a grimace there. He's all right. He's all right. Nothing to worry about there, but he is in great deal of discomfort right now.
Okay, you're ready.
Well, he's did himself proud. Nothing to be ashamed of here. He came over with 5 days notice and gave us one good fight.
And his ribs were beaten badly.
Well, that's what Nigel Benn is known for, and he stood still and got the shots, received them, took them, and kept right on coming, and that, of course, is a mark of a gutty little guy. I think we'll hear more from Danny Perez in the future, but right now, I mean, he did the best he could against the champion.
In defeat, his stock certainly goes up, but you can see he is grimacing in pain, and now he shows sportsmanship as Nigel Benn comes over and embraces Danny Perez. A lot of respect here. What a great job by Perez.
He thanked him for the opportunities. Let's take a look at these replays at the end of this fight. The right hand that started to do the damage the first time he went down. The kid is kind of trying to stay up, but Perez, just too much. See that shot on the side? Goodbye. You just can't withstand that when your ribs might have been cracked already, but they're certainly hurting. You have to go down.
There's just so much punishment a human being can absorb.
Or should have to. I mean, this is a sport. You shouldn't have to get executed by this. Let's take another look from another side angle. The right hand obviously did the damage, but what put him down was the rib shots. The rib shots, one on one side, one on the other, and down he goes.
And I'll say this, if he is ranked number 10 in the world, he certainly earned it.
That much we have to give him. We have to give him his rating.
And Nigel Benn addressing the crowd, bowing, raising his hands in triumph, hearing it from those in the Bob Uecker seats. No surprise, Nigel Benn makes his ninth defense of the WBC super middleweight.
I'm Gary Eubank from ITV Sport, and I was lucky enough to be working at one of the outstanding British fights in recent years. The date, November the 18th, 1990, at Birmingham's National Exhibition Centre. The fight, Nigel Benn defending the WBO middleweight championship of the world against the unbeaten challenger Chris Eubank. The 10,000 crowd was divided. You were either following one side or you were following the other. It made for a raw atmosphere and an explosive fight. This is the story of what has happened since that big night in Birmingham. Eubank was unbeaten in 24 contests, but many people saw him as an unknown quantity at this level. Ben, fresh from big wins over Doug DeWitt and a first-round stoppage of Iran Barkley, both in the States, saw little danger against a challenger he reckoned couldn't punch. The war of words that preceded their fight really stoked up the bad feeling.
Round one, here we go.
He's got to keep his hands up. He's going to be unloading Ben.
But he does not want to get trapped in the corner.
That's right. He's come back himself, Chris. A couple of good hooks. Got to get those hands up. Ben is going gunning for him. No messing about here, no fancy boxing. It's just slam bang.
Well, we've yet to really ever discover whether Eubank can take a shot tonight. We will find out if he can.
We certainly will.
And remember,
13 of Benn's fights have ended inside a round. And a further 8 in round 2. This guy does not hang about.
Good right hand from Eubank. Good right hand. Very good.
And that hurt Ben.
Listen, Ben's legs are shaking. This is trouble for him here. Here we have Chris smiling at him again. He's got to do it all tonight. Definitely hurt Ben with that right hand. So he's got to keep his hands up. That's when Ben's at his most dangerous.
Well, Ben